Good afternoon to you. Today we will continue with the Constitution. We are now continuing judiciary. Today we take Article 142 and Article 143. In the last class we have seen the special leave petition under Article 136 and also transfer of cases from the High Courts to Supreme Court under Article 139A. This Article 139A, I told you it is important from the point of current affairs because certain cases are transferred. EWS case was transferred from the High Court to the Supreme Court, which I already explained in the last class. Today we will examine Article 142. It's a very important article, both academically as well as from the examination point of view. This is an inherent power with the Supreme Court for doing complete justice. Where there is a negation of justice, in that case Supreme Court will step in and give justice. The powers of the Supreme Court under Article 142 are very wide to pass such orders and decree which is necessary for discharging the justice. The provision contains no limitation at all regarding the cause or circumstances in which the powers can be exercised, nor does it stipulate any condition to be satisfied before the powers are exercised. So this is a very important power which you will come to know in the later courts. The exercise of this power is left completely to the discretion of the apex court, and its orders are binding on all the courts and tribunals within the territory of India. Nevertheless, because it is a plenary power, this should not be used to override any express provision in the Constitution. So, Article 32 was innocuous, but now it has acquired very great importance in the recent past. Now, let us see the provision of the article. Article 142 provides that the Supreme Court may pass such orders as may be necessary for doing complete justice in any matter pending before it. Very simple, 1.5 sentence. The order so made by the Supreme Court shall be enforceable throughout the country in such a manner as may be prescribed by any law of the Parliament. That is, had it has been enforced through a law, what would be the consequences? Those consequences should follow as a result of the judgment. In other words, the orders of the Supreme Court are equivalent to the law made by the Parliament. Now, Parliament will take some time. That has also been clarified. What is that? Until the provision is made by the Parliament through a law, the orders of the court will be enforced in the manner prescribed by the Parliament. Prescribed by the President. As you may recall, very important, you may recall, the powers under Article 142 was used in the case of triple talaq. Triple talaq was prohibited by the Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court took resort to Article 142 and said it is totally banned. It is a 3:1. If I remember, 5-judge bench, it's a constitutional matter, 5-judge bench, 3 in favor, 2 minority. And majority judgment is that Article 142 has been invoked and triple talaq has been banned. As a result, Parliament has to make a law banning that triple talaq. This is you should remember. Secondly, Supreme Court used Article 142 in 1989 to provide relief to the thousands of victims affected by Bhopal gas tragedy. This case also you should remember. Similarly, Supreme Court invoked Article 142 to ban the sale of alcohol within a distance of 500 meters. Remember, the entire Kerala revenue was shot down within 500 meters of on the national and state highways across the country to curb accidents due to drunken driving. This is another case where 142 was used. Similarly, Article 142 was resorted by Supreme Court in a recent case where the officers of Government of Punjab, Government of Uttar Pradesh, Government of Delhi were hauled up, reprimanded for not controlling the stubble burning which was polluting the atmosphere. Again, very recently, Supreme Court set aside the Allahabad High Court judgment which partitioned the Ayodhya property where 1/3 of each was given to the deity Nirmohi Akra and Sunni Central Waqf Board. All the three. Supreme Court claimed that the High Court had no jurisdiction to divide the property because the powers are vested only in Supreme Court under Article 142 and High Court cannot exercise these powers. Thus, under Article 142, Supreme Court enjoys extraordinary powers even to make the provisions of the law till the legislature formally legislates on the issue. This is an extraordinary power. Innocuous. For so much of time it was not used. First used, to my knowledge, in the uniform, that what is called Union Carbide, victims of the gas. Now in this connection you should read this article with reference to Article 144. What Article 144 says? It mandates that all authorities, both civil and judicial, within the territory of India should act in aid of Supreme Court. That is, all decisions of the Supreme Court are binding not only on all courts, it is binding on the judiciary, it is binding on the executive, it is binding on the legislature till it is amended through constitution. That is the Article 142, which is very important. Then we are now coming to Article 143, advisory jurisdiction. This article empowers the President of India to seek the opinion of the Supreme Court on two categories of matters. What are the categories? Number one, on any question of law. I have already defined what is question of law. On any question of law or question of fact of public importance, correct says question of law or question of fact of public importance which has arisen or which is likely to arise. Not necessarily it should have arisen. It is likely to arise. Secondly, it relates to the matters which are precluded from the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Remember, I told you when we discussed Article 131, the proviso to Article 131 is important in a different context. What is that different context? This is under Article 143. So, there are two matters. One is where the President of India feels that it is necessary to take the opinion of the Supreme Court, he can ask for the advice of the Supreme Court. Secondly, provision to the Article 131. What are those? Any treaty or agreement where there is a specific provision that the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court will not extend, or where the Constitution itself has precluded the jurisdiction, for instance, interstate water dispute, and any reference made to the Finance Commission, or any adjustment of revenue between Union and the states, etc., which have been excluded from the purview of the Supreme Court under Article 131. In these cases, these are all the two categories. In the first case, Supreme Court can say no or yes. It can send the advice, or it can say no, we are not able to provide any advice. But in the second case, that is what is excluded from the purview of Article 131. In that case, Supreme Court must give, remember, Supreme Court must give its opinion in the second case, what is excluded from the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court under Article 131. So, in the second case, it has to give. Remember, after all, Supreme Court gives only advice. Suppose I am asking you some advice, it is not mandatory for you to accept the advice and do it, follow it. Similarly, the advice is given by the Supreme Court. It is not mandatory for the President of India to agree to the advice. But remember, it has got great persuasive value. It is done in the open bench. Everybody, the entire public is knowing it. So, naturally, it has got very great persuasive value, though it is not binding on the President of India. But nevertheless, it is binding on all subordinate courts. It is binding on all subordinate courts. And remember, in the first case, the Supreme Court tendered advice or refused to give advice to the President. Remember, this is very important. Supreme Court may tender advice or refuse to give its advice or opinion to the President. However, in the second case, the Supreme Court is bound to give. I have already told you. Second case means those which have been precluded from the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. In both the cases, the advice of the Supreme Court is only advisory and not judicial pronouncement. Therefore, it is not binding on the President. So, he may follow or may not follow. Nevertheless, it has got great persuasive value and authoritative legal opinion on a matter to be decided by the President. The advisory jurisdiction is also called consultative jurisdiction. There is no provision in this as in the advisory opinion in US Constitution or even Australian Constitution. In fact, American Supreme Court has refused to give advisory opinion with regard to certain matters to the executive. American Supreme Court held that the powers of the court extend only to the decision of concrete cases coming before the court. Nevertheless, Canadian Supreme Court has given advisory opinion. In 1951, Delhi Law Act was first to refer to the Supreme Court for advice. 1951, first case. Second case is in 1958, Kerala Education Bill, which was referred to the Supreme Court by President for its advice. Similarly, Keshav Singh case, perhaps you remember, Keshav Singh case regarding the privilege of legislature. So then, Perubari case, I have already told you, 1960, it was also referred to Supreme Court for its advice. So, a number of cases have been referred, the advice have been sought. So, with this, we will end the class. We will go to the next, that is Article 129, Court of Record, in the next class. Thank you.